What is up, guys? Chris here, Bear Market Mining. Thanks once again for stopping by. So today we are going to be talking about Alephium, and in particular Alephium mining. So as we know, if you've been following along with the crypto landscape, Alephium has been one of those coins that has been targeted by the manufacturers like Ice River and Bitmain, just pumping out units and getting bigger and bigger units every single time. So today in this video, we want to have a bit of a look of where we're at, where we're going, what sort of miners are coming online, and just throw a few numbers at you as far as what we can expect, you know, considering hash rate, price appreciation, and help you guys make a bit of a more informed decision as to whether this is something, you know, you want to get into or spend your good money on. So let's get straight into it. So let's start off by looking at the price. So currently sitting at $1.32. Have enjoyed a nice little pump over the last 24 hours. This has been seen across the board on a lot of the bigger holding crypto coins, which has been nice little bit of relief for people who are looking to sort of take profits. Although, you know, over the last 6 weeks, you can see we've just sort of down, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. Now, I believe this has got something to do with the fact that people have spent a ton of money on these Alephium miners, right? They're seeing the continued hash rate increase, and people are just selling. So no one's holding Alephium, it's not gaining any store of value. You know, people are just mining it, selling it, mining it, selling it. So the liquidity is up, the availability is high, and people are just offloading to sort of recoup some of this money that they've spent on these miners. So we do have, as we can see, a long way to go back up to all-time highs, and obviously this is what we're all hoping for, but who knows when this will be, right? You know, we've been saying in video every week after week, in every video, the bull run hopefully is just around the corner. So, you know, today sort of really gave it that nice little, you know, restoration in the faith of the market a little bit, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we just continue to see this go in the opposite direction over the next 24 hours. So $1.32 at the moment, not looking terrible, but plenty of room to improve, as we can see, back up to $3.71. Following on from the price, let's have a look at this hash rate as we've looked at before. So, you know, when all these Ice River units have started to come out, the ALOs, you know, even the Gold Shell, you know, AL2s, AL3s, AL3 Plus, I think it's called, have all started coming online over the last couple of months, and we can see we've just gone up and up and up, and sort of plateaued a little bit here at the moment, which is nice to see. Plateaued at about 18 petahash, but what, a few months ago, 2 petahash, we're nearly at a 10x. I did a survey on my channel a little while ago and said, you know, where do we think we'll be over the next, you know, month or so, and I think we expected about 10 petahash. So you can see we've definitely exceeded that, but definitely plateauing at the moment. But I think this is not for very long, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the video. But let's have a current look at what is still profitable, what sort of electricity rates, you know, because there's a ton of Alephium miners at the moment, and most of them at a reasonable electricity rate are still profitable. So over here on asicminervalue.com, you can see they've actually now introduced this little tab up the top where you can click on different algorithms, coins, and select what you want. So having a look at Alephium. Now we are on 13 USD, which is the equivalent rate to my rate in Aussie dollars. So 13 cents per kilowatt hour, which I think is probably maybe slightly better than the average. I think last time I checked, the average US electricity rate was around 15 cents. So in fact, why don't we just bump this up to 15 cents? Just for argument's sake. Obviously people have a lot better, people have a lot worse, you know, but this is the broad range of numbers, I guess. So we can see at the top here, this Bitmain AL1 Pro, still very profitable, but man, you know, 30 bucks a day. It's come a long way down. I think this was making, what was it? Like, look at this, you know, a couple of months ago, $318, you know, that is just horrendous. I was actually watching a few of Voscoin's videos over the last month, him talking about his purchase of this AL1 Pro, and you got a feel for the guy, man. You know, to pay 30 grand for it and then to see, you know, Ice River come out and drop it for 10 grand, like, you know, those pills are really hard to swallow. I'm in a similar boat with my Albox, as you can see down the bottom here. Now, look, still profitable for me. I've got a slightly better rate than this, like I said. but I definitely paid way too much for it. And this was only a few months ago. You know, what I paid for it versus what it's worth now, I think they've dropped the price by, you know, like 300% or something outrageous. So that always stings. This probably my worst investment as far as ASICs go. I do also have the ALO, but full transparency, that was helped get to me, I should say, by Crypto Miner Bros. Got an affiliate with them. We'll talk about that later. So still profitable as well. You know, 69 cents a day. Not terrible. I mean, this is US dollars, so for me, this works out to just over $1 a day, but man, has it come a long way down. We see all the Alboxes here, Albox 3, Albox 2 Plus, all still profitable at my rate, and even at 15 cents as well, but it's slim pickings, you know, really slim pickings. We can see this AL3. Now, it says these have been released. I don't think they've been dispatched yet. I think it's late October these come out, but obviously this would be red. If they hadn't, I think that's just a month-by-month basis that they do that. If it's in the same month, it's green. I'm fairly confident they haven't been released yet. And the AL2 Lite, which is another Ice River unit, which is coming out soon, making reasonable profits, $3.47. So, you know, 2 terahash, you know, 5 times the ALO, 5 times the wattage, 100 watts compared to 500 watts. This is generally how Ice River do it. And look, they're pretty consistent with it, right? So they definitely know what they're doing. You cannot compare the quality of the Bitmain unit, you know, the AL1 to the AL3. Bitmain units are always going to be better quality units, but I think these are still priced at around $25,000-$30,000 as opposed to $10,000 or so. So let's move along and see what these are actually worth. So this is the Ice River AL3 15 terahash unit, 10 grand. Much better price than those Bitmain units when they came out. And like we've said previously, I feel for those guys who spent, you know, 30 bands on one of those Bitmain units. You know, seeing prices like this, it stings. And like I said before, I've felt the same thing with the Albox and a couple of other units I've bought. But that goes without saying. I think at this point we know what to expect with these, you know, companies like Ice River and so on, Bitmain. But 10 grand, look, it's a lot of money, right? Let's not beat around the bush. 10 grand's a huge amount of money, but when you're talking about investing and you say 30 bucks a day, it's a 1-year ROI, technically at current prices, not the world's worst investment. But, you know, this sort of unit just isn't feasible, you know, for a lot of people. You see, you know, 3,500 watts, you can't run it on a standard Australian outlet, US outlet, EU outlet, sorry, nowhere, and 75 decibels. You know, so this thing's going to be screaming at you. I've had loud ASICs before that are pushing, you know, 75, 80 decibels. And let me tell you, you can, even on a big block, you can hear these things like through walls, rooms and rooms away. So that fan whining is just something that people aren't going to deal with, I don't think. And probably not an investment that everybody's going to sort of look at making. But, you know, moving along to the AL2. Now, this is something that I personally will be getting as well. A much more home-friendly unit and much more reasonably priced. Now, the ROI is a little bit longer on this at current prices, but I'm not looking at ROIs, and you know, you guys should, but those sort of numbers are pretty, you know, hard to calculate. So I'm trying to do a little bit less of that because it's just so hard to tell, right? We have to throw into price appreciation and hash rate at the same time, which are two uncontrollable metrics. So you got to do your own research on stuff like this, but this is a pretty nice little unit, right? PSU included. Like I said, I'm going to be grabbing one, 2 terahash, and much more user friendly. You know, 45 decibels, still a little bit of noise, but you won't notice this thing from home. And also compatible on NiceHash. I don't have any of my Alephium miners on NiceHash yet. Still trying to stack as much Alephium as possible till they're not profitable. Then we'll start just dollar cost averaging on NiceHash and getting some Bitcoin. But I think a whole bunch of these are gonna sell. I haven't actually checked on the Ice River website whether they're sold out over there yet, but you guys can check that out yourself. The Crypto Miner Bros do have some really good pricing. If you're looking at getting one of these, we're gonna quickly have a look from our sponsor. Attention crypto miners, are you ready to level up your mining game? Then look no further than CryptoMinerBros.com, your go-to source for top-of-the-line mining equipment. Crypto Miner Bros stock the latest ASIC miners and partner with the most trusted brands like Bitmain, Goldshell, Jazzminer, and Ice River, just to name a few. Plus, with manufacturers' warranties of 6 to 12 months, worldwide shipping, and 24/7 customer support, you're fully covered no matter where you are. And don't forget, you can use code BEARMINER at checkout or click the link in description to save $70 on all products store-wide. Visit cryptominerbros.com today and start mining smarter. All right, so we know what the current price is, profitability, and we know the hash rate and what miners are coming up. So let's just crunch a few little numbers here. We see that the AL3 is a 15 terahash unit. So if we jump on over here to the converter, right, we type in 15 and we say, let's say they sell 1,000 of them. 15 petahash increase into the network hash rate is nearly a 2x, which in turn is going to halve your yields. So I'm expecting a lot more of these will get sold, even if you said 2,000 of them, 30 petahash, 3,000 of them, 45 petahash. It starts to get pretty scary now. Of course, I think the AL2, they'll sell a bunch more of those, but the numbers have a much slower impact, we should say. 1,000 of them, it's at 2 petahash, but because they're priced so much better than the AL3, let's just assume that they'll sell 10,000 of them. That might be a stretch, even half of that, but 20 petahash or half of that, 10 petahash. When you couple that in with, say, 1,000 of the AL3s, I definitely expect this hash rate to at least double in the next sort of 6 weeks, and that might be a very conservative number. We might see a lot more than that, but let's hope, for our sake, for my sake, for your sake, if you're looking at getting into this, that people are a little bit scared away by it, and the hash rate doesn't increase, the price does increase, and we're not sitting in as bad of a situation as we expect. So that is what we're looking at, guys. Kind of scary with these AL3s coming online. Man, I wish they would stop dropping these 15 terahash units like all the time for Casper and for Alephium now and for all these other coins. Like give us the 2 terahash units. You know what I mean? 15 terahash at a time, 7.5 to 1 when you're comparing the AL3 to the AL2. We'd all be doing a lot better. We personally would all be doing a lot better profitability wise if they were just releasing these 2 or even 4 terahash units, but it's not up to us. Ice River and some of these other companies, Bitmain, are just trying to make as much money as profitable. So if they can sell 15 terahash units for 10 grand, 30 grand a pop, they're going to. So we just sort of have to deal with what we've got at the moment. But look, even with a 2x on the network hash rate, you're still going to be, making a profit. The way that I like to look at it is almost sort of dollar cost averaging into it. Obviously you have to outlay the capital first, and yes, you could argue, why not just buy the coin? For me personally, I'm a miner. I don't want to just buy the coin, right? I want to mine the coin. So that's what I'm doing. If we look at the dollar cost averaging, even as the profitability on it goes down, as long as it is profitable, I like to think of it as dollar cost averaging into Alephium with this AL2 that I'm going to be getting coming up shortly. So that's my mentality on it. I'm not too worried about the ROI on it. Hopefully it will ROI eventually. If it doesn't, I'm an idiot, but what can you do? You got to be in it to win it. That will wrap it up, guys. That's all we've got for today. If you liked the video, please like the video. Consider joining the Discord, link in description, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.